Hello everyone, this is the last time before the season finally starts in Europe. Another outstanding fact about this race is that it has the same name as one of the teams taking part. Welcome to the UAE Tour. But before I go into the UAE Tour, let me first give you a short recap about my performance at the Kettle Evans race. Well, the only rider motivated to be in a break was Taco. So with everyone having a nice Sunday ride, it was more or less predetermined to be a sprint finish. Also, teams seemed not understand that the hill is too easy to drop riders from the wheel and just rode a steady pace and didn't attack. So even Caleb made it to the finish with the group. With my restriction of only one rider per team, I got 5 of 7 possible riders in the top 10. So only my missing trust in Caleb and my overestimated trust in Alberto Bettiol were wrong. Yeah, my order was way out of the result. To be fair, I expected a more aggressive race after what we have seen in the Tour de Honor before. And 2 of my picks were just out of the top 10. With this out of the way, let's go over to the history of the UAE Tour. Like the 2 Australian races before, the UAE Tour has very little history behind it. Only 4 editions have taken place yet. You could also add 15 years of the Tour of Qatar, but this was a totally different race. The easiest way to talk about the last 4 editions is probably to show this picture. These 2 riders have together won 3 times and 3 second places. Tadej Pogačar won the last 2 times, and 3 years ago, Adam Yates won, with both of them taking second place when the other one won. Well, this year they are both riding for the Team UAE, the team with the name as a race. So they are probably both highly motivated to keep their streak going. For some time they both were on the start list, but now only Adam Yates is there. The recipe of the 4 editions so far is quite similar. 7 stages, switching between an individual time trial and a team time trial, 2 stages with a mountaintop finish, and 4 pancake flat sprint stages, with occasional mix-up with a Hatterdam finish. The mountaintop finishes are always the same, Jabal Yais and Jabal Hafid. Jabal Yais is a 21-kilometer climb, which is, without sidewind, too easy to make splits, which makes most of the time around 20 riders finish within 20 seconds. The Jabal Yafid stage is the one which makes the splits in the GC. It is only 10 kilometers long and a bit steeper. Apart from the mountaintop finishes, naturally the time trial will make differences. Otherwise, you could expect crosswinds to mix up the results. For details about the crosswind, watch the stage previews in the next days. Let's go over to this year. Well, again, I have to handle the no roadbook situation. This will make it hard to make detailed analysis on the sprint finishes. At least I can expect there will be most likely always big roads and no corners close to the finish line. The route is, as described before, the same as every year. The only question left is the amount of crosswind stages we will have. Stage 1 is a flat stage with a finish circuit. I expect a sprint here. Crosswind is possible depending on the wind direction at the first half of the race, if it comes from north or south, or on the second half of the stage, if it's east or west wind. The second stage is this time a team time trial. It is 17 kilometers long, with an incredible amount of 2 corners, 2 hairpins, and 2 roundabouts. So no technical difficulty here. Stage 3 is the Jabal Yais stage. If we have no wind in the marked zones, we will have a mass sprint uphill. Stage 4 is again a day for mass sprint, as most of the stage won't ride through the desert as before, and instead takes the outskirt of Dubai. The probability for crosswind is quite low. The highest probability has the part around the first intermediate sprint. Stage 5, sprint stage again. As before, a lot less desert than you would expect from the past. A lot of desert will be seen between intermediate sprint 1 or 2. So let's hope on wind from southeast or northwest. Stage 6 will be the 4th sprint stage. Again, a lot of houses near the road. Crosswind terrain could be after 1 hour until shortly after the first intermediate sprint, or from the second intermediate sprint until the finish line. With the finish being near the coast, this could be quite an interesting finale. The 7th and last stage is the Jabal Hafid stage. This will be the decisive stage for the tour. Here are the possibilities for crosswind on the first 2 hours. And in the final, we will have the hardest climb in the race. With all the stages out of the way, let's look who will be on the start line. Based on the information on the time of recording, Saturday evening, we only have the start list for 13 of 20 teams. And 2 of them are also missing confirmation. Let's start with Argel. This looks like the best lineup I commented on this season for them. Bouchard looked good in Oman, with Parampetre, Varbas, Henin, and Bondin, there are some mountain domestiques. Well, they don't look too promising for the team time trial. Next team is Alpecin de Koenig. With only Osborne and Singleton on the start list, it is very hard to say anything. As the climbs are very steady, they should suit Osborne. Looking at the start list of Omloop next week and Andalusia and Algarve running right now, we won't see Philipsen here as a sprinter. Maybe we'll see Groves as their sprinter. Let's go over to Astana. They have their 2 best riders regarding points from last year on the list, Cavendish and Lutsenko. Cav without a lead out will look like a few years ago at Bahrain. Lutsenko is always a conflict rider. If this is all you can bring, their season looks very grim. Next one is Bahrain Victorious. With Bilbao, they are competitive at the mountain stages. Bauhaus will again be there for the sprint stages. This sounds a lot like my preview for the Tour Down Under. They may are a bit weak in team time trial. Arndt and Price Peterson look worse than what other teams can field. Now we have Bora Hansgrohe. Here we only have 3 riders on the start list yet. With Bennett and Van Poppel, we have one of the best leadouts, and Buchmann is here for top 10 in the GC. Now we have EF Education Easy Post. So far, there's only one rider on the start list, Georg Steinhauser. How should I comment this? He's a neo-pro. He's probably more known for his father, Tobias Steinhauser, who was a professional bike rider before. The other important fact is that his aunt has married Jan Ulrich. Let's go over to a team with a full lineup, Groupama FDJ. They are quite committed for the sprint stages with Arnaud Demar. For the mountain stages, I don't see many riders here. Next up is Ineos Grenadier. They came for the team time trial, but missed the clear GC rider. Maybe Platt improved his climbing form after the Tour Down Under. Oh, and Viviani is there for top 5 placings in the flat sprints. Next one on the list, Vanti Circus Intermarché. Another lineup with only 3 riders yet on the list. Terame had some results in Oman. Tyson Gerben looked invisible at the Tour Down Under. Maybe he increased his form. Now let's look at Jumbo-Visma. This is quite an interesting lineup. All the big stars are missing. But still looks better than Astana. There's Coy, which ended last year as one of the strongest sprinter, but also underwhelming at under 23 World Championships. And there's Gloak, who already had an impressive showing in Valencia. Next one on the list is Movistar. The season so far looks like the Ibaguren effect arrived. So we will see Rubio or Rodriguez in the top 5. And how many stages will Gaviria win, even without a lead out? Now we have Soudal Quickstep. Will we finally see Remco's first win in Rainbow Jersey? The team should be strong in the team time trial. And the climbs look good for a time trial rider like Remco. For all the other stages, they have Melier, who is undefeated so far this season, with 1 win in 1 sprint stage. Team Checo Alula. After they covered everything in the first 2 races this season, this lineup is only focused on sprint stages. So will Groenewegen win 4 stages? Team DSM. Also a team with no full lineup yet. Sam Weisford dominated the sprints in San Juan against Jakobsen and Gaviria. For JC, they have to hope that Van Hoeke made the next step in his career in the offseason. Trek has also no full lineup yet. Out of Tiberi, Postega and Tulhoek, I see Tiberi as the most promising. Good showing at the Tour Down Under and a former junior time trial world champion, he at least won't drag the team down in the team time trial. We now arrived at the last World Tour team, Team UAE. It looks like the big weakness of Tadej Pogačar are rock, paper, scissors fights. After he lost last year to Majka, he probably lost this time again for the win to Adam Yates. With Bjerg, McNulty, Langen, and the newfound time trial specialist Jay Vine, this looks like the team to beat. Who at the end goes for the GC between Vine and Yates will be the question of. As the first non-World Tour team, we have Lotto Destiny. This means Caleb Ewan was the one successful Bora lead out of Selig and Schwarzmann. Can Caleb win a stage here after he didn't in Australia? Israel Premier Tech. As for me, Hermans and Vogelsang haven't shown much lately. Let me give you a fun fact that we have here after Price Peterson and Bjerg with Mats Schmidt, the third former U23 world champion from Denmark at the start line. A team we haven't covered yet this year is Bardiani. My prediction here are lower top 10s at the sprints. Don't ask me who will do it. Most of the times, all of them go for the sprint. Last team on the list is Team Tudor. Here we have only Arvid de Klein yet on the start list. What is my opinion on him? Last year, he was a bit lackluster. 2020 and 2021 looked result-wise a lot better. Maybe the team change can bring me back on track. Top 5 results would be nice for him. After I gave an overview over all teams, let's go to my prediction of the top 10 for the GC. As I still will only pick one rider per team in my top 10, the team time trial will probably make me look worse again. On place 10, I have Alexander Lutsenko. On a good day, he can always make it to the top of the climb with the good climbers. On place 9, I will predict Antonio Tiberi. I mean, he showed good results on the climbs in Turanano, and maybe his team can do something in the team time trial to give him a good position. On place 8 will be for me Emanuel Buchmann. He will be able to climb with the best climbers on a good day. He will probably never be able to do a split. Place 7 will be for me Geoffrey Bouchard. He showed good form on the Tour of Oman last week, so the climbs won't be his problem. As the team is a bit lackluster in the team time trial, I have him a bit lower. On place 6, these things are the other way around. Here is Luke Plapp for me. He will be in a good position after the team time trial. In the mountains, he will probably lose a bit of time. On place 5, I have a movie star rider. They will probably have the worst team time trial of all the teams, but Rubio Einer looked good at the Tour San Juan, so I think he can make some time up in the climbs. On place 4, I go with recent form in Thomas Kloak. I mean, he has a strong team with Sepp Kuss as a domestique if you need him. Now we get to the podium. On place 3, I have Pedro Bilbao. He has impressive showing so far this year, so I don't see it changing here. Now we get to the interesting part. Will it be Remco or will it be one of the UAE riders? So on place 2, I have Remco. I see Quickstep, the worst team on the team time trial, and on the climbs, I see the better chances for the UAE guys. So the UAE rider who I think will win is Adam Yates. I mean, he has the best track record here. He won once, was second twice. If he can't win, there will be Jay Vine or Soler who will lead the race up on the climbs. They will be highly motivated as they have the same main sponsor as the race. After I gave you now a big overview over the race in total, I hope we see you again for my preview of stage 1 tomorrow.